Pool barrier fences are always a big deal. Got to make sure that that pool stays safe. Can't be leaving big gaps like this. That's ridiculous. Gutters in Arizona. Love to see gutters. Love to see gutters on a home. You can't have this gutter discharging onto the roof surface. It needs to go down into the gutter below it or have a downspout that goes down. The water traveling in this direction is going to push up underneath those shingles and cause damage to your sheathing in these areas if you don't correct this. Well, I got the garage door up before it quit working. This is on a GFCI outlet up here, and we trace the conduit back, follow it over here, make sure it's the right one dropping down. And sure enough, it's connected to this GFCI that will not reset anymore. I tripped it while the door was up, and now I can't reset it. So the door will not come down in this condition. I'm gonna have to disconnect it and manually drop it and leave it the way it is, because we don't have any power. So I noticed a couple things about this bedroom when I first get into it. First thing, we've got an additional vent built onto the door down here, probably because they weren't getting very good airflow. We also have an air return back in this back bedroom, and we're in a hallway to a house where the regular air return is right here. Why would they add an extra air return back here unless they were having some difficulties cooling or heating this room? So I pull out my thermal camera just to see if there's some missing insulation. Maybe that's their problem instead of airflow. And I can only imagine that this is why they had to add extra registers and an extra vent on the door just to get better air circulation in here. This is the north side of the house, but still we're missing quite a bit of insulation in here, and the ceiling is 100 degrees. So no wonder this thing is heating up. I don't think we need an air return back here, we just need to insulate this room better. This is an evap cooler register, so they've removed the evap cooler. And they usually just leave the ducts here, they usually don't insulate above it. So I'd recommend removing that, patching up your sheetrock, and fixing that. Here's your evaporative cooler controller. Usually these have been removed by now. So you've got something to turn your pump on and off and to regulate the water flow up there. But you can just remove this at this point because there's no evaporative cooler on your roof now. Toilet handle is getting stuck in the up position. See that flapper in there? It doesn't want to go down all the way. This thing's sticky. This should pop right back down. You don't want that flapper to hang out up here, otherwise you're going to be running water all day. You need some adjustments to that. And it's not just this corner. We've got it on this side of this room as well. We're missing several inches of insulation on the corners of this room. Different spots there where you can see that white red heat light up. We got to get that insulation back in there. You can get all the airflow in the world, but if you're letting all this heat and traveling through the ceiling to warm up this room, that's where your problem is. That's what we need to fix. Not all these air vents in here. You don't need an air vent for every wall in here. You just need one vent. You don't even probably need the return, but I guess, you know, that's what they were doing to try and solve this problem instead of just fixing the insulation. That's my best guess. One thing about a kitchen island is you can't move it. We don't want to be able to move these kitchen islands. Now there's no electrical on there, but we don't want these things to be loose because we don't want somebody to jump up here on the side and have this whole thing tip over and fall on top of them. So this thing should be secured to the floor. I see this a lot. I see these front walls starting to crack right where they join the house. You get a little bit of movement in there. It's usually from just overwatering up here at the front. You get all this water going on with the bushes, with the yard, yada yada. All that moisture builds up underneath these bushes and underneath this wall, and eventually the weight of this wall takes over and it wants to start settling, and as it does that, it's going to pull that wall away from the house a little bit. So what caused that? Water. Sometimes they're super long. Look at this sucker. That's crazy. Sometimes they're really short. This really drives me nuts. You see that big flue over there, that exhaust vent? That's meant to exhaust your kitchen smells out. Now it goes up and through the roof, goes up into the attic, goes all the way through there, but when we look above the microwave, there's nothing. Nothing. Turn on the vent, all the air comes back into the house. So they swapped this out in 2007. This house is from the 70s. So there's a good chance they just didn't do it right. They didn't open it up back there, or they put in new cabinets and deleted the whole thing entirely. Anyway, you've got a duct up there. Why you're not using it, it's beyond me. Well, it's 50-gallon Ream water heater. Ream. No, I'm not spelling it wrong. Look. Ream. Ream Sales Company. They make Rude.
Sewer camera inspection at 5025 West Cove Avenue in Glendale. We're up at a vent stack on the roof. Couldn't find any plumbing cleanouts in the ground today. So we're going to try to get access to plumbing system from up here. Sometimes these vents will get me down to the plumbing system or the drain system. Sometimes they don't. Take our shot with this one here, this big vent. This is above your bathrooms on the west side of the property. Through a pipe connection there. Another drain connection. Now we're down on the horizontal. Now we're in the drain. And this is from the bathtub in the primary bathroom. We've got that water running right now, so we're going to try and follow that water out to the street. Looks like ABS pipes though, which is a good sign. Checking for any offset pipes, any pipes that aren't lined up, or any clogs, any breaks in the pipe. We've got a couple drain connections there at 49 feet. Those could be the clean out that we can't locate it in the front yard. There might be a clean out here, there might not be. This age of a house, it's hard to tell if there is or not until you located it and found it above the ground. It's a lot easier to get access to the drain system if you have problems when you have a clean out, instead of coming up here on the roof and going down through a vent pipe. So I definitely locate those cleanouts if you can. At 80 feet right now. See, it drops off right here at 82 feet. It's likely where it goes into the city line right here, where it turns to clay at 87 feet. So I don't see any problems with the drain system. Go in that direction. We're going to pull the camera back and take a look at everything going the other way now. connection looks pretty good. See a little bit of the other pipe, but it's still lined up all right. So we've got that opening there at 47 feet. And we have another opening right there at 47 feet. So those are likely cleanouts located somewhere in the front of your property, about 30-40 feet in from the street. We just don't know where they're at today. Ask the seller if they can locate them for you. If not, you might have to have a plumber come in and locate them. Thanks for using BPG Inspections for your home inspection and sewer camera inspection today. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to take this video home and watch it on a bigger screen. Make sure we didn't miss anything, being that it's really bright up here on the roof. But if you have any questions, please get a hold of me, Home Inspector Dan.